Hey gang, Professor McElroy here. Web Design 2, January 2022, Week 3, Learning Module 3. This week is all about our personal portfolio website pages, so I'm going to quickly pop in to the module section to highlight Learning Module 3 and our upload of our personal website project page. Traditionally in Web 2, we do the bonus chapters in the book, but 2021 edition merged the bonus chapters into chapters 11 and 12 in your book. So we're going to do a personal portfolio website page build, responsive website page build. I uploaded a portfolio template, which is right here, to your announcement section. I've actually started to manipulate the page already. This is actually built in an Anchor environment, and I'm going to highlight it in Dreamweaver as we're editing the page so you can kind of see how it works, the functionality of it, and what we will be editing. So that you can navigate through the page and edit it for yourself. I get a lot of requests from both design students and non-design majors that are in the Web Design 2 class to build an online resume, online portfolio. So week 3 is an excellent opportunity for us to kind of squeeze this project in. So I'm going to minimize this, go into Dreamweaver. I'm going to do site. New sites, right? And I would name this portfolio. And I would navigate to the desktop, which is right there. And I would choose and connect to this folder. I'm not going to do that because I already have my local connection over here. So you should do the same thing. I'm just going to take a real quick highlight. Your contact section of your individual index page, the area at the bottom of the page, that's the contact form. It's driven by this PHP file, and that's how it posts and sends the contact form to and from your web page. So that's what that PHP form is for. And in your assets, you're going to see your style CSS page. If you want to tweak the colors, you're going to see the both the favicon icons and the images that are part of the template build. And you'll see the basic JavaScript commands for your menu items, as well as some of the additional enhanced Bootstrap elements from third-party vendor plugins that this particular site is developed from and with. But we're going to concentrate on the CSS, the images folder, and the index page. We don't have to drill in as far as the blow up pages for the portfolio pages, because not everyone has a graphic version of a portfolio. So you're going to notice here that I, again, like to work in split view. I have live view turned on. That way you can see the site running. Remember, it's responsive. So let's just stretch this out a little bit. And you'll notice the menu goes over here. And as I compress it, we get the traditional accordion menu at the top there. So I'm just kind of expanding it out so you can see the more traditional. And you'll notice all of our IDs, our div IDs, each container has the ID just like it had in Dreamweaver 1 and Dreamweaver 2. Our basic HTML builds, our containers all have profile IDs, which help with our descriptors. And so very first thing, remember, changing this to whatever, whether it's a personal first and last name, whether you have a business name or a product or service that you want to highlight the site to. We need to go in and change our title tag. I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. Maven Graphics is my design business, so I just changed the title tag there to Maven Graphics. Remember, there are these two favicons, one for the touch screen, right, the bigger version, which is 180 by 180. And then 32 by 32 is that little tiny icon that appears in the browser when you're typing in the URL. If you wanted to, you could change those icons, but make sure the easiest thing to do is take your new icon and save it as the same name as the one in the IMG or images folder and just replace it. If you do that, then it will naturally replace itself and you don't have to worry about changing the name here. Like if you had a Favicon 2, then you could put an additional image in the image folder and name your new file Favicon 2. But for most students, it's just easier to replace the images in the images folder, which are right here, with the new images under the same name, and then it'll just naturally replace itself. So let's scroll down. This has a really good structure for comments. These little grayed out things are called comment areas, and this template is built in a way that it's really easy to see what's going on, right? So here's our vendor CSS files. Here's our basic template main CSS file. Remember, that's the one you want to edit if you want to change colors or anything like that, because that is the main style sheet for the site. We'll scroll down here a little bit. You'll notice that, and I'm just going to highlight this text right here. It's right there. So I just changed my text light to my name in the upper left-hand corner of our A-aside, in essence, our A-aside navigation area. And you'll notice that each one of these icons are dynamic and they point to a particular link. So I went in and replaced my icons with my URL for my social media. And you'll notice this one still has a space holder. I actually didn't replace it with my LinkedIn address. And so I could go in there now and add my HTTPS URL, and that would activate this icon. If you have these, you want to make sure they're live and they're active. And so we'll just keep scrolling down here so that you can get a real good, comfortable level too. And you'll see all of our navigation is right here, right? Bugs are already there, icons are all there. It's really beautiful. And here it is. So if we decided we wanted home to be all caps, we could go in here and change everything to all caps. If we wanted to change the names, we could. I'm going to keep it upper and lowercase. I think it's really sleek. It's really beautiful. It's got a really nice typeset already to it and icon. So you'll notice copyrights and the template location I downloaded it from, and we'll get there in a minute, but this is our primary navigation. So we'll scroll down and it's labeled navbar. It's nothing you've seen any different from any other template. So we're just going to scroll down here. Now you're going to get into the dynamic text that's happening in the main area. The first is that right there. And then you're going to see I'm A, which is the static text. And then I replaced the template with these three statements. And you'll see that they are loading and being changed by the comma. So brand developer, I could change this to sculptor. And there it is. It refreshes itself and we've changed it into our new statement. And so I'm just going to scroll down here and we're just going to highlight some things. I can scroll the template down a little bit because you're going to notice the next area that we're going to address is right here. So section title, there is my section title, right? And then here is the beginning of, and I can actually go in here and move that because it's all right there. So there's my paragraph. Here's my H2. If I wanted to, I could make that H1, make it a little bit bigger, could make it H3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if I wanted to make it smaller. So we're just scrolling down. And so here is my next title area. And so scroll down, here it is, it's an H3. And then I have my italic subtitle, which is right there. And then you're going to notice that these are columns and they're stacked. So when I go down here to my chevron columns, it's website, phone, and city to the left column. And then when I scroll down, degree, email, and freelance to my right column, scroll down a little bit further, and here is the filler space. If I click on the image, you're going to notice that the image next to my contact information is pointing to profile-img.jpg, which is in the images folder right here. So if I wanted to replace it with my picture, which I would like you to do, you should just name it profile.img.jpg and put it in your images folder and replace this one with the new one. And it'll really help with making it easy to swap things out. So the little bug icon and this icon will replace themselves with your new picture. So it'll replace this one and this one because it's under the same name. And so let's scroll down a little bit further. I'm going to scroll down a little bit further in my template. This is what's called a anchor-driven or location-driven single page website. So when you click on navigation, it's actually only moving up and down the page. So you only have to worry about index.html. Most of you won't have detailed portfolio blowouts, or so you don't even have to worry about these. You're just creating a dynamic index page that fits all of your information. So we'll scroll down a little bit further. That's my filler text there. And then here we go. So now we're into the facts section, and here's the comment highlighting it, right? And then we have facts right here. And we could change that if we wanted to change it, to statistics. We could change it to statistics if we wanted to. Actually, I want to change it here. I don't want to change my section ID just because that'll get a little statistics. And here's my paragraph. Scroll down a little bit further. And you're going to notice the count box, right? So you have the title, you have the number. So it counts up to that number, and it has the little sub comment down below it. So we can adjust all of these. So we could adjust clients, projects, hours, workers. We could make those any numbers we want. We could make, we could change 32. So let's just scroll down. So here's hard workers. So let's do this. Change it to employers. And let's just say maybe you had 5 jobs in your lifetime. And it would just scroll itself and count itself down to 5. There it is right there. And, opportunities. Number, I don't want to do jobs, employment, number of employment, steps. There we go. Scroll down a little bit further, and we're going to get into skills. And this is where you highlight some of the things you do well. So maybe instead of HTML, it's Microsoft Office, right? Microsoft Office. And where's the next really long bar? Or you could do Word. Each one could be a different thing. Word. So for me, it's like Adobe, Photoshop, See value 100%. And then CSS might be Adobe Illustrator 100%. Change the value now to 100%. So there you go. Make sure you change the value so the number changes. I could go through and do all the software applications I felt comfortable in and kind of expand that. So let's scroll down a little bit farther. Now that you see that area, resume will be labeled just down here as a note. So there's resume section, right? Let's scroll down there. Oh, services went a little too far. So here's my resume. So you'll also notice there's a typo here. So resume, la la la, summary. There it is. Let me change this to Chip McElroy. You'll notice it's set to a typeface that's all caps. So even though I made it upper and lowercase, it's all caps. And then I can go in and edit my actual resume. So you can see all of the different things, education, right? So let's scroll down a little bit further and we can click on this, right? We can click on this and edit it here if you felt more comfortable. I just like doing it in the code. It's a really beautiful bar, dynamic bar chart, CSS bar chart. So it's beautiful. All right, so scroll down. All right, into resume and we get into portfolio. And here's where you could, and I'm just going to show you the filters here. These little tabs here, these are the filters. So we could make this portfolio just a, we could delete it. So you could start at this beginning of this comment and highlight all the way down and delete the portfolio, or you could customize it for what you're doing. So maybe there's certain skills that you've covered. So maybe it's a writing sample, or maybe you do like to do things like build websites or do something design oriented. Portfolios can be a lot of different things. And these little tabs are for clients or subject matter specific things. So these are just filters. So we can change those titles. And we'll scroll down. And you'll notice each one of these images is tagged. Image 1, image 2, and each image has this label attached to it, and it has a more details link. And you can see right there, portfolio links, and it points to portfolio details.html. So this can be customized to you if you have some sort of portfolio, writing samples, articles, maybe certain job skills you've attached and applied. You could point this more in the direction of that, or we can highlight the entire section, which is portfolio, and we can delete it if we need to. Let's scroll down a little bit further so we get through the portfolio section. And next is services, end of services, and then maybe this is a really beautiful, the testimonials section. And you'll notice the image folder has its own testimonial JPEGs. And so we could replace those from your LinkedIn profile if you have people that have given you testimonials. You could replace those images. This is a really easy customized portfolio template. So we're going to get past this because we've got the 6 there already, because I want to talk very last about the contact form. So the contact form, let's scroll down. contact section. Okay, so we have the header here, which is H2. We have the text supporting it. We have each of our locations, so we would need to change that, the email address, the phone, which is labeled call, even though it says phone in the class ID, phone number. And you're going to notice that the map points to a Google Map address, which is right here, this HTTPS inside of this iframe. If you went to Google Maps and you typed in whatever address, your address, it would give you an iframe embed code, and you would replace this iframe with the iframe of your address. And that's what causes this little box right here to appear. And we can replace that, and it'll just put your own address inside of there. And scroll down just a little bit further, because I want to show you that this right here is right here, and it's attached to a contact.php form. So this is all standard. Your labels, your div class, all this stuff is standard. So if you wanted to change your name, your email, your subject, whatever, you can change it right down here. And all of the standard loading messages, information. But if I go over to the let's shrink this stuff back up so you can see right here is the PHP form. And right down here is the email address that you need to change to your email address. And that's what will allow this form to post and send from your index.html file form back and forth to your PHP email. So you got to make sure that you change that in order for the form to function if you were posting it out on the server and actually using the page. And then we'll scroll to the very end, and you'll notice there it is. And here is our designed by and I'm going to save this, and I've successfully edited this page. So this is your project for homework this week. I want you to edit this entire index.html page and customize it to your own personal information. Try to switch out the picture, right? Try to switch out the picture, and we can go to IMG right here, and you're going to notice the profile image. This is the background, and this is the profile. Those are the two pictures you really want to replace, because the profile picture is the little bug image right here, and the hero BG is the big picture back here. And we can swap them out and make them anew. And I actually think, let me see if I did it or not. Hero.bg. That's the one that we need to replace for this image back here. So let's see how you do now that you've got HTML, CSS experience. We've been in the Bootstrap environment, so you understand how the responsiveness of the menu works. Let's see if you can customize it to your own personal page. Have a great week.